Yo, what's going on, friends? This is Rowan from Optimize FX, bringing you episode number 40 of the $1,000 Forex Challenge. And in front of me, I have all the terminals that we're trading, all 10 of them, and a little bit of information we're going to talk about that's come through for us Australians that has severely impacted our trading as an Australian because of some things that have come through that have changed. And what that did is actually changed the way I do the $1,000 challenge, and how it's affected me is that I've had my leverage from reduced to 1 to 30 rather than having 1 to 500, and that's a huge difference in leverage, and that come out at the end of March. And it severely impacted all my testing. Everything went to shit, essentially. Now, it only affected the EAs that usually have a lot of positions open or are quite aggressive. Even though it was a really bad thing, it was actually quite good. So I'm trying to see the positive in the change, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit in this episode. But without further ado, I'm just going to have a quick look at some information on that. So essentially, the ASIC, or Australian Securities and Investments Commission, decided that they'll enforce tougher retail contract for difference and trading regulations this year. And what they did is they reduced the biggest thing that's affected us here in Australia is they reduced the leverage. And that's okay. Like, I understand. Like, I don't know if you've heard the saying, but 90% of new traders lose 90% of their money in 90 days. And I feel as if that, well, to me, that was true. And I'd like to know if any of you watchers also have experienced this saying, or have been in that. Because for me, I had, a set amount of money I put aside to trade with when I first started, and the first couple of weeks were really good, and I think maybe I got overconfident and I ended up pretty much losing all of my money. And I'd like to know if in the comment section below if you're also one of these people that were affected by this. If you lost all your money within the 90 days, because not many people have risk management. And this Forex trading is all about risk management. How much risk are you wanting to expose yourself to for a profit? So essentially, I've just outlined here maximum leverage that they can offer us in Australia here on Australian brokers is 30 to 1, which is terrible if you want to trade robots, certain kinds of robots. Anyway, so I just wanted to show you that. And so what I did is I tried to have a chat to IC Markets and say, hey, look, I trade with you, I have live accounts with IC Markets. They're the guys or the broker that I use, that I've been doing all this with, because they offered more than 10 demo accounts, and that helped me out a lot. Pepperstone used to, but then they decided that only let you have 3 demo accounts going at any one time, and they expired after 1 month anyway. So for testing robots, that's terrible, because you need to have them going for longer than a month for testing anyway, to get enough data just to tell if it's good or not. So I had a chat to them. Long story short, I said, look, is it possible for you guys just to make the leverage on my demo accounts back to what they were, so I can continue this? And I am an introducing broker, so I have the link in my description below if you do want to sign up to IC Markets and open an account with them. So what, they are a good broker, don't get me wrong. I haven't seen anything dodgy with them. Withdrawals are pretty quick, deposits are quick, not really any dodgy stuff that I can see. They're regulated. But so I was using them for all the demo accounts, and I had all the leverage set at 1 to 500. It does say that here, 1 to 500. It does say it here on trade info, but it's not correct. It's not right, because like for instance here, we have $1,897 in this account, and we've only got like maybe 8 0.01 orders open, and we've already used 346 margin. So yeah, it's definitely not correct. So they wouldn't come to the party and change the leverage back to 1 to 500 for me. So I'm like, okay, well, that's cool, that's really disappointing. And the reasons were like, oh, you could show people that, you know, you're an Australian and we've given you 1 to 500 leverage, and you could use that against them, and they could breach the ASIC rules. And you know, that's fair enough, but I said, look, it's not in my interest to do that. They're literally just demo accounts, and you know, I have it on my channel, but they wouldn't come to the party. So this is pretty much what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks, is having a chat to them, seeing if they could come to the party, and they wouldn't. So then I started looking for other Forex brokers that would offer me at least 1 to 500 leverage, and a lot of accounts, so I need at least 10. And I'm like, well, there wasn't really too much to choose from. I could have chosen with FBS. They are also another good broker, and I can definitely recommend them for cent accounts and all of that. But I decided not to go with them, and I went with another broker called Forex Time, or FXTM. And I've had cent accounts. They offer cent accounts as well as normal accounts, and I've actually had an account with them for quite a while as well. And I usually just use that with cent accounts, and I fund it with Bitcoin because you know, I can't use any other thing here in Australia. But yeah, so I ended up using them, and I opened up 10 demo accounts using a leverage of 1 to 1,000. And yeah, I'll be showing you all of that in the next video. But this video is just going to be essentially about the wrap up of the $1,000 challenge. I'm going to wrap this challenge up on episode 40. Yes, I've been doing this for 40 episodes. I think it's absolutely insane. But I just want to show you where all the robots ended up at the end. Like, so just to put it in perspective, in the last 3 weeks, essentially the leverage has been 1 to 30, and it messed a lot of the robots up. So which you might see, but some others it wasn't really affected by too much. And one of them is the one we're looking at in front of us here, which is MG Pro, and it has been going for quite a while. And it's ended up making, I think it's made $301 since well, it's for this year anyway. I think it has been going since January. And so it has been going quite well. But the max, we'll get to my FX book shortly, but I just want to go through all the terminals first. So it's definitely been going well, and it did get stuck in, it uses a lot of CAD pairs. We can see here that USD CAD, it hasn't traded at all. So yeah, I'm not sure there with it. NZD, it has traded. CAD CHF went to the moon and has now come back, and it's closed. USD CAD, I think it's probably in those trades now. Euro USD, it went okay, and AUD USD, it's just in my FX book. EA running. So for the week it did $7.93, and this month it's done $35, what I think is really good, considering the leverage is 1 to 30 pretty much all month, and a little bit of last month. So yeah, so that's good. Do I recommend MG Pro? Yes, but definitely use risk management and like equity management EA if you're going to use it. The reason being is that it uses a lot of CAD pairs. So like pretty much every single one is CAD except for Euro USD. And you know, if CAD decides to gain strength or not, you could be in a bit of strife, which is what happened in the last month. So just be careful with it, but I do think it is a good robot, as well as its other one, which is Swing, which I'll get to soon. I think it's in here. So now FX Core, I can't show you the trade info thing because it doesn't show if there's a certain file there, but what did I have here? It actually is a loss of $431, and I think what happened there is it may have got hit. Well, let's have a look actually. Let's have a look. FX Core got hit March the 8th. Okay, so before the leverage got changed, it actually got hit with a big bit of drawdown, big hit. So it lost over half of its account, and I think it got margin called, which is why the account is still live. So it's still alive, still trading. I had it on, I think I had it on H1, but it's back at H4 now. So yeah, overall, I think look, FX Core 100 is a really, really good robot, but you've got to be really on your game managing it correctly. And the reason being is that I think it needs more than $1,000 to run on H1, and on H4 it's just way too slow. I think it's just not worth it unless you had maybe 10 charts open. I don't know, but H4 is really, really, really slow. H1 is slow until a really big trend happens, and then you can get in the shit really quick. So FX Core, do I recommend it on $1,000? On H1, yes, but definitely use like an equity protection EA and set it at a percentage that you're willing to lose if things do go bad. So if you had it at $1,000, just for example, not giving you any advice here, I'm not one to give advice, but let's just say you had it on $1,000 and you're happy to lose 20%. So you would have your equity protection EA set on 20%. If it hits it, you know, if it's down $200, if it hits it, it will close everything and you'll have $800 left, for example. So that risk, that percentage is up to you. But if you wanted to do that, you can have it on like 2 H1 charts, set it at $1,000 and just let it go. And if it hits your 20%, it hits 20%. Like, that's how it is. But I do recommend it. It can be a really aggressive robot, especially on the lower time frames. I do know a lot of people that have made a lot of money with it. You know, you can have a couple of M5 account charts. I've known people to use M1 and M15 quite a lot, and they've made a lot of money. But the thing is, you need to have a lot of equity to do that, and you have to be on your game because things can go really bad really quick with this robot. But there is money to be made with it if you know how to manage it correctly. So what I recommend that you do is open up a demo account with the exact same leverage that you're going to use on live. Have it in exactly the same setup as what you were doing if you were live. So if you're going to be trading on a VPS, have the demo running on your VPS. Have the same leverage and try it for a month. Maybe you might find a setup that suits you and your risk with your equity. So that's just my 2 cents with FX Core. Now, we're going to get to the star of the show, and I think the star is FX Stabilizer, even though this month has been terrible because what I did at the start was I had it on, let's just show you the settings if you're new to the channel and you want to have a look. So this is what I had it on. So turbo, and the fixed lot was set at actually 0.01 for pretty much 90% of its trading life, and it's been trading the longest. And I'll show you here. This is here, FX Stabilizer. So it started on July the 26th last year, and it has been going since now. So it is the longest running EA that I've had, I think, going on this whole channel, and I really like the name of it because it is a really stable robot, and you can see here where the market has moved against it and it's made a little bit. This is all on 0.01, and there was a point here in February where I think I changed it to 0.02, and I'm like, yep, we've got to, we've doubled our money. I think I got to 2,000. I'm like, sick. Let's change it to 0.02 fixed lot, and we'll see how that goes. And it went really well. Went really, really well. And then I think right about here, like about the middle to the end of March, I'm like, stuff it. Let's see how this goes on 0.1 lots, because it is such a stable robot. And we had like, I think 2,500 in the account. I just wanted to see how it traded with 0.1 lots. And I knew that, when I backtested the 0.1, it was kind of a hit and miss if it was going to make it through the backtest, because, 0.1 lots on a $2,500 balance is quite high. It's actually really, really high. And I wouldn't recommend it on a real account. But I just wanted to see how it traded for all of you. And but then what happened is the leverage got changed from 1 to 500 to 1 to 30, and it had a 0.1 lot trade open, and I was pretty much out of margin within a couple of trades, even with like a balance of $2,600. So I was like, holy shit, what am I going to do? This test has really gone bad. What can I do here? And I ended up changing the lot size. Well, as soon as it kind of broke even, I changed the lot size back to 0.02, and I let it go for the rest. So it's unfortunate that I couldn't get FX Stabilizer to trade 0.1 for you guys and show you the results. But in saying that, it is going to be on the next set of robots that I'm going to start. And before I start all that, I'm actually going to do a video so I can show you what EAs I'm setting up, what settings they are, and then we're going to go and see how they go on 1 to 1,000 leverage, and see what we can do. So kind of a hint on the next, I think the next videos will be kind of stress testing EAs to see how they go. Balance may not be $1,000, it might be 10,000. But I think the $1,000 challenge has been quite popular. So, FX Stabilizer will be in the next one. I can definitely recommend it as a slow and steady robot. If you leave it on turbo, don't use auto risk, just have it on your fixed lot size and maybe up it every $1,000 or $2,000 that you make. Just keep upping it, keep compounding, but also make sure that you withdraw money as well, because that also, it reinforces that you are making money with robots. And I found that out this week, that like a lot of the time, if I make money with robots, I'm like, sweet, I'm going to put that money that I made into another account and start another robot and start it trading without withdrawing back into my bank account. And it really started messing with me, and the reason being is it wasn't hitting it didn't feel good, because like I was just moving from one account into another. It kind of felt good at the time because you can start another robot and another strategy and increase your portfolio with having different EAs. But what happened to me most of the time is that the strategy that I started with that money may not have gone well, and maybe I lost half of that money that I've made. So yeah, it's a bit tricky, but I can definitely recommend withdrawing if you're making money. Like if I made like $500 in a month using FX Stabilizer, which is probably unrealistic on 0.01 trades, lots. make sure like you withdraw at least half, and then leave the other half in there that you made. So say you made $500 in the month, withdraw 250, and leave the other 250 in there to compound. And that way, you're not feeling as if you're not making money, because it's actually hitting your bank account. So that's a bit of advice I can give you, and it helps with your mental clarity when you're trading. So FX Stabilizer, do I recommend it? Hell yes. Leave it on Euro USD H1. It's good. It's definitely a very good robot, and I will have it. I will have it in my portfolio along with this one. But what happened here, right? And it's just another update that I'll be bringing out with Parabolic. Essentially, what happened here is that it ran out of leverage, and it kept trying to open. It kept trying to open a position when it couldn't. And what happened here is that IC Markets picked up that the account was hyperactive, and they decided, oh yeah, we're just going to disable it because it's exceeding their maximum amount of requests per hour, whatever it is. So they decided to disable the account, which is fair enough. Like, you know, if you've got something that's smashing your server, you'd want to disable it to reduce the load. So I can't show you any stats here right now because it is disabled, but I can show you where it ended up at the end of it. So Parabolic ended up with almost an $800 profit in with a max drawdown of 28%, or 29 we could say, and it went for, where is it? It's been going since the 14th of December. So what are we going to say here? Oh, let's say it pretty much didn't trade this month. So in 4 months, four and a half months, oh no, 3 months. In 3.5 months, it has done $800 on a $1,000 account. So it's almost 100% of the account in less than 6 months, with a drawdown of 28.9%. And it got through all of that that craziness that happened in March with the accounts. So I think it's, well, I built it, but I think it's actually a really good EA, and I think it definitely has room for improvement, and I will be making some improvements over the period of this year as well, because I haven't put it out yet, but a lot of testing needs to happen with these things before I make it public. So but yeah, you can expect some changes to come out soon, and maybe some better risk management with the EA as well, and maybe some drawdown control as well. So I've got a few things in the pipeline for Parabolic, and I'm also working on some other robots in my spare time, which is really not much at these points, but we'll get there. So I think it went really well. Now this is the friend to MG. Is it MG? MG Pro. We've got Swing. And I think Swing has done really, really well as well. For the year, it's down 748, which I don't think. I think no. This one started later than MG Pro, I believe. Let's check that out. Oh yeah. Okay. Gold mining. I had gold mining on this account. Okay, and that's where it stopped out. And then we started Swing on the 3rd of the 5th. So, wow, really? 5th of March? Okay. So let's just make that the 6th, because sometimes it picks up the 5th. Yeah, I'll make it the 6th. $215. That looks a lot better. And it didn't pick up any of the other account stuff. So there we go. This won't change unless I delete it and put it back up. Let's do that. Oh, it's got 3 of them. Right. Oh yeah, okay. Well, I might not be able to show you these things. We'll see. So yeah, trade info plays up. Decides to disappear. And then stuffs things up. Oh no, it's back. Sweet. Yeah, some terminals it doesn't play nice with. Okay. So here we go. These are the stats for swing. So for the year, since March, since the 5th of March, it has done $215, because they're the only results that this picks up on Trade Info. For the week, it's made 95, and you know it makes roughly $20 a day. It's really hard to say, but $215 in a month and a half is pretty good, considering it is limited by leverage as well. So swing has traded really well. Next, Baby Shark. Now this is one I started on 10k, and the goal with this, if you're new to the channel, was that I traded it on the lowest possible risk percentage that I could, and with 10,000 that was 0.5%, and since it has made a little bit, I changed it to 0.6. So far it's made $3,639 this year, and its balance is now 14k, and we are currently down. Well, we're down $400 right now. So it has been trading extremely well. Very impressed. So this week, $313, and this month $502, and margin is getting down because you know, I've only got 1 to 30 leverage, so it's used 7,510 leverage. So Euro USD needs to come down now, because things aren't looking good leverage wise for Baby Shark. But I think this strategy is working really well with Baby Shark. So the idea here is to use the lowest possible risk rather than the standard 2%. We are trading with the lowest possible risk that we can, based on the account balance, and increasing it ever so slightly when you make money. So I think it's going really good. Next we have Algo Gold, which based on my testing that I did as well, I knew this was going to, well, it was going to happen anyway for no margin, but no leverage I should say. So I did actually run this Algo Gold live for 3 days, and it did make quite a bit of money in that 3 days. But the problem is that upon using it and upon backtesting and forward testing, I realized there was a huge flaw with this robot. And the thing is that the distance between the orders is fixed. So it doesn't matter what you do in terms of distance here. That does absolutely shit all. Take profit? Not sure. Most of these things don't do anything. And the reason being is because this is modeled off another robot. I don't know which one came first, but Dragon or Erin's. So what they've done is they've got the source code of those robots, turned it into this thing here, and fixed the distance between the orders. So it doesn't matter what time frame you use it on, the order's distance is still the same. So in saying that, even though we did run out of margin to ride this all the way up and then back down and then back up again, this would pretty much be full of orders up here, and they're all the same size, so 0.01 I should say. And the reason why that's not good is that what if gold keeps going up and you've got an order distance of that? I think it's like, let's have a look. This is on M5, by the way. It's not really going to show me. Oh no, let's go back. I can't really see, but I think they're like 100 points. Yeah, 100 points. Even though I've got it set at 100 points here, it's actually not respected because I've changed this distance and it doesn't change anything. It just seems like I have. So the thing is with Algo Gold is that if gold keeps going up, it's just going to keep opening 0.01 lot orders until it blows, until you run out of margin. There's literally no way for it to get out of a trend, and that's really, really scary. I'm actually really, really lucky that I was able to get out of my live account with Algo Gold, because I could have easily have lost the account. And what happened was I put $500 in, I started Algo Gold thinking that I could change some values, and I couldn't. And then the price went up, and it kept opening orders, kept opening. I was down $400 on a. It got to 400. I think I was down like $300 on a $500 account. I'm like, shit, what am I going to do? So luckily, I have like a bit of money put aside for when things like this happen, and I put that money in the account, and gold kept moving. I ended up around about just a bit over $400 in drawdown, and I'm like, shit, what am I going to do here? Do I just take the loss here? And luckily I didn't. The gold actually ended up moving down enough for me to almost break even, but I got out at a $30 loss, which Algo Gold actually, well, that's the first time I got out, and then for silly me I got back in again and I made that money back. But essentially I got out at a small loss, I got back in, and made it I think about $300, and then I started another robot with it called PFX on M1 time frame, and I lost my $300 because it hit my equity stop. So that was silly. So I made money with Algo, then I lost it with PFX, and this is what I was talking about before about withdrawing the money that you make rather than putting into another account. And silly me, I didn't test PFX on M1 for long enough, and I got caught in that really big move up last week in Euro USD. I literally started it, and then Euro USD took off up to the upside. So it was just super bad timing because my demos have been going really, really well with it, and you just get that. Shit happens. But Algo Gold, do I recommend it? No. Do not use this robot. Sure, it may work well for a few days, but it might work well for a couple of weeks, maybe, if you've got the margin there. Would I use it on a cent account? No. I just wouldn't use this strategy at all. If you're going to use gold, use Dragon or Irons. They have a multiplier on them in terms of martingale, but they make a heap more money, and they can actually ride a trend up and down rather than doing this shit. So yeah, so get rid of Algo Gold. It's not going to be tested anymore. Now, this is one of the EAs that I can definitely recommend putting into your portfolio. Actually, there's two of them. And these ones here are like the demo versions. They're not the real ones. So if you want to buy this, you can buy Ranger, I think, from the MQL5 and support the developer. It is a really, really good robot, and it has been tested really, really well, and it is stable. Yes, it has a little bit of drawdown, but it is literally a set and forget robot. You can have it more on the two pairs that I've got it on here, so PoundCAD M30 and AUDCAD H1. It does use more pairs, just provided that you back test it a little bit. But it's possible having more pairs with it. You can make roughly $80 to $100 a day, and me just using it in the time that I have, this basic default settings on 2 pairs, for the year it's done $251 on a $1,000 account. Sure, it doesn't trade some days, no worries. It's made $11 this week. I didn't have this laptop on all week, but you know, for the month 21, it didn't really get used much this month, so I can't really say how it's gone for this month. But if we have a look here, Ranger, here we go. It's made $297 in the time that it's been going, so $300. And the drawdown, the max drawdown it's ever had, is 10%. So that's a really, really good return, I think, in the time that it's been going. So I think I started it on December as well. Let's have a quick look here. Actually, let's just click into it. Nope. November the 2nd I started this, and it got, you know, it got into a bit of drawdown on the end of Feb. Yeah, 5.68%. So, wow, look at that, you know. So it's done almost 30% since November the 2nd to now. So I think that's extremely good. Extremely good. So look at this. All profitable months. So January, February, March 2020. Oh, except for December. Wow, down less than 1%. And the November was good, 5.1%. Do you get that from a bank? Hell no. So yeah, definitely can recommend Ranger. So there you go. The settings I'm using are default, if you're wondering. So there you go. Can recommend Ranger. I think it's Ranger and FX Stabilizer are two of the best EAs, probably in this test. Now Northeast Scalper was just a fresh one that I started. It's only done one trade. It made $3.30, and that was on the 24th of last month. It hasn't done anything since. Don't worry about the profit loss thing here. So we're only looking at this one trade, and it hasn't done anything else. So this EA may not trade for days or weeks. So please be patient. Instead of patient. Anyway. So look, it's too hard for me to tell right now if it's a good robot or not. It's only done one trade, and but yeah, the trade was good, $3.30. But I think the lot size is really big. You know, it had a commission of 0.77 and then a swap of 1.49, and it only ended up with $3.30 profit out of all that. So, you know, it's not really $3.30, is it? But yeah, and then the very last was Badak. The reason why it stopped trading from here to here is because Badak removed itself from the terminal and I didn't pick it up. So there was, you know, from the 25th of March to now. But let's have a look. Badak, yes, 69% drawdown. Oh, okay, I know what happened. So when the leverage thing kicked in, it stuffed it. It couldn't trade anymore, and I decided to close it. So what did I have it on? I think it on H4. I think it's like FX Core. It was on H4, way too slow. Put it on H1, which was going quite well, and then yeah, run out of margin, and I decided just to stop it. So that's what happened with that. Would I recommend this robot doing this? No. Nah, I wouldn't use this robot. Not really confident with it. And that pretty much sums up all of these robots. I think. There we go. I know it has been a long episode. I have a lot to talk about. But just a little quickie for next video. I'm actually going to be using, instead of my FX book, I'm going to be using FX Blue. And I think what I can do here is I can actually share a whole portfolio for you all. So that'll be pretty cool. So I'll have all the robots going, and I'll be able to share a link that shows the whole portfolio, hopefully. So this is what the goal is. I haven't set it up yet. That's my job for this weekend, and is to set all this up, decide on what robots to use. If you're new to the channel, flick me some robots to test. Obviously I've shared a couple that I'm going to be using. One is EA Mood. Another one is FX Stabilizer again, but on a bigger lot size. I think I'll test Ranger a bit more, maybe on some more pairs. I just really want to see how much money we can make per day with it. The goal is $100. It'd be pretty nice. Yeah, flick me through some ideas of what you'd like to see, what robots you'd like me to review. Yeah, I just want to thank you all for supporting me in this journey. It has been a really awesome year. I've learned a heap about robots, about brokers, just about trading in general. And the goal is for me this year is to complement my algo trading with manual trading. So I'm actually trying to teach myself some really good manual trading systems that I can use, as well as getting the robots going profitable as well. Because I actually like hands-on trading. I like trading manually. It's a really good feeling to get into a trade manually where you've done all the technical and fundamental analysis and you've got into a trade and it's actually worked out in your favor. I think it's a really, really good feeling. Yeah. But that's it from me. The next video I'm going to show you all the setup for all the new terminals, all the new robots. I may not start out with 10 robots at the start. I might just start out with maybe 5, whatever robots I think of at the time, and I can also just add more later rather than starting them all at the same time, because it does take a while to set everything up. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the $1,000 challenge. If there's any other ideas that you've got or what you'd like me to do, flick a comment down below. Don't forget to hit that like button. We're up to 600 plus subscribers. I want to thank you all for your support, and I will see you in the next video. I think we're going to have an awesome year. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you then. Bye bye.